I started in 1987 when I graduated from college. I answered an ad in the newspaper, which shows you how old I am. And I answered this ad. Matter of fact, I was sitting in my dorm room in college. Like, it was like the last couple of days. I had Budweiser cans laying everywhere, and I had one suit hanging in my closet. I didn't do any interviews before that because I just wanted to milk the entire country club college experience for the last few days. So I saw this ad and I answered an ad that said, seeking an individual to learn my business, busy executive of a national company, expanding. So I answered it. I ended up interviewing with Eric Iglione in 1987, and I worked for him for 7 years before I became an SGA and then moved into the home office. So that's how I started. Yeah, he had already been with the company for, I think, 7 or 8 years before that.
Yeah. You've been here with over 30 years. You were with the company.
I was with American Income from 1987 to 2015 for the most part, other than 1 year.
Wow. Amazing. So guys, we have I just appreciate you taking the time here early on the morning for us. We appreciate it, guys. So let's welcome Rob Felva to the
Hey. Yeah, Tommy, first of all, I appreciate the great introduction. Can you guys hear me? Awesome. I appreciate the great introduction. I'm always excited to talk about AIL. You know, AIL is an opportunity unlimited. It's a tremendous opportunity. It is one where, like it was told to me, like it's probably told to you, you get out of it what you put into it, okay? There is no limits. When I started at AIL in 1987, I want to give you something that I think will make you think about how great this opportunity is, okay? I hope a lot of you are in this for the long haul, for the renewal money part of this business, okay? Think about this. I started in 1987, and I worked in the field from 1987. I became an SA, GA, MGA, RGA, SGA, and I was in the field only for 10 years, and I say only, from 1987 to 1997, 98, okay? And so then I went to work for the home office. So at that point, you realize that my contracts are all over. Now I'm working on salary, bonus, stock options, etc. But think about this. How many years is it since 1997? Now, I'm a philosophy, political science major, not math. So it's a lot, right? I don't know how many years it is, but think about this. To this day, I still get renewals, thousands of dollars deposited into my account from work that I did in 1987 to 1997. It's insane. It's insane. I haven't touched and sold a policy or had a team that sold a policy since 1997, right? So 2007 would have been what? 10 years. 2017 would have been 20. It's 20 something years since the last time me or anyone on one of my teams sold a policy. And I'm still getting thousands of dollars per month. And if I were to die tomorrow, I'm hoping this is wood, my kids would get it. My wife would get it, right? So that right there ought to tell you the power of what you're working for right now. So whenever you're out there and you got to, I know you're not out there right now. I would assume you're doing everything virtually. But no shows, no big deal. They happen, right? People don't show up. Hopefully it's less now with Zoom. People are home, right? But in my day, you knew freaking 50% of your appointments weren't going to be there. But you just kept knocking. You kept moving. You kept growing because you knew about the renewals. You believed in them. So keep that in mind when you think about the opportunity you have. And I know this. You work for a great leader. You work for a leader who thinks big. I was going to say drinks big, but he probably does that too, right? I think I was talking about myself, actually. But he thinks big. He doesn't let people limit what he thinks because he knows this. He knows that if he limits his thinking, he limits all of yours. So remember, Tommy, you mentioned there, why do I help you? Well, one thing you'll know if you look at my LinkedIn profile, if you were at AIL when I used to send emails, every one of my emails ended with, as always, please let me know how I can serve you. Sincerely, Rob. Every one of my emails. Well, you can't say you're a servant leader and try to serve like I try to serve, or believe I try to serve. Doesn't matter that I'm not getting paid. You can't all of a sudden say, well, what I said yesterday doesn't make sense and doesn't apply anymore because now I don't get paid, which means that would mean I'm a terrible person is what that means. That would mean I'm a terrible person. I don't make friends with somebody and then because I'm not getting paid by the company, don't still try to help or try to serve in some way. So the reason I serve is because I consider myself a servant leader. And in order to serve, you continue to serve. Money doesn't come into play of that. You just assume it's going to be a byproduct, right? So that's why, Tommy. And because you're an awesome guy and I would help you. And let me be really honest. Your last name ends in a vowel. Your grandmother's from Calabria. And so that probably gives you a little extra edge. But I'll be transparent with that, okay? That being said, I would have helped you no matter what, even if your name was not Italian. So let's talk today about leadership and developing leadership. You guys have some big goals, I'm sure. And so in the agency building process, you guys are brand new in Chicago, exciting, right? And here's what I know about being brand new. You need leaders. As I look at all of you on this call, here's what I look at. You and I, in anything we do in life, Tommy, MGAs, GAs, RGAs, whatever your title is, you're not going anywhere without other people. Every dollar you will earn will come from other people. So your great success, the people that are going to drive you and your agency to 5 million next year, you don't even know those people yet. They haven't appeared in your life. So you got to make sure what you've got in place is the ability to develop leaders and managers and leaders. And I use leadership and management different. Management is important. Leadership's important. They're two different functions. When I'm taking down numbers and I'm asking you how many sits you had, how many sales you had, how many no sales you had, that's management. I got to get data. Then I'll lead you with using that data. Okay, so I use both of those. I don't look down on management. Leadership's a buzzword. Management, leadership, they're different, but they're both important. So let's talk about what needs to happen first. It starts in the recruiting process, like everything. And here's the recruiting process. You've got to first paint that dream, okay? You've got to recruit people to leadership. You got to recruit people who want to be in leadership. And by the way, don't immediately equate leadership with they want to be an MGA or an SGA. Sometimes people want to be leaders as personal producers, and that's great too, because you're going to need them to be the rabbits, right? But it starts in the recruiting process. Think about the ad that I told you I answered that was in the Help Wanted section. It said, busy executive of an international company seeking an individual to learn my business, must have complete integrity and be able to follow directions. It already painted a big picture, didn't it? And so what's important is that you start painting that picture. Let people know when they come in. Paint the vision for them of where they will be, not in 3 weeks, not when they pass their exam, but where they will be a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now. You can tell them next time you start recruiting saying, hey, I just talked to some old guy that used to work at AIL, and he hasn't sold a policy since 1997, and he's getting thousands of dollars. That's powerful vision of what's possible in the future, okay? So when someone starts with you, and I know you guys do a lot of great things. I mean, you guys come from great stock. You came, Tommy, Simon, the people that Simon has learned from, Eric Giglione. I mean, they've done an incredible job there, right? But here's what you've got to make sure you have in place. Make sure that when people start with you, they immediately, from day one, know what is expected of them to get a promotion to SA. And again, I'm assuming they haven't changed contracts. I don't have a lot of connection with what's happening there now, but I'm assuming it's still SA, GA, MGA, or something like it, right? Make sure people know from day 1 or 2 or 3 where the next step is, the next step after that, and set a timetable for people that are motivated to sit down with you and set a timetable. Where am I going to be 6 months from now? Where am I going to be a year from now? Where am I going to be 3 years from now? Why? Because when they have that bad week and don't get the paycheck they want, you want them thinking about that. You want them thinking about 6 months. 1 week of a setback is no big deal if in 3 years I'm going to be the king of the world, right? 1 week of setback is a bad thing if I've got no vision or hope for the future. So remember that, all right? Make sure that you've got some timetables and some goals for their promotions so that they know what to do. And again, don't bullshit people. Be upfront with them. Say, hey, listen, you want to be an MGA? This isn't going to be easy. This is what you've got to do. What are you willing to sacrifice? Right? What are you willing to give up in order to gain? Have a real conversation with them, but be clear with them. Be honest with them. Because if you are, and they buy into it, you now have the most powerful tool to work with as far as a business tool, and a powerful person to help you achieve your personal goals and team goals. Nothing is better than creating that win-win environment. You win, I win. That's what's great about sales. What's great about direct sales, what's great about 100% commission is it wouldn't help me any if I try to sabotage your success. Me sabotaging your success is taking money out of my pocket. That's why it's a great system. You want to help people, okay? So remember, I got 4 things that are going to help build this thing. And the first one is recruit people to leadership. Recruit people to that leadership vision, okay? The second one is this. And by the way, if you guys ever want to turn on the volume, because I'm not used to this whole Zoom thing. My presentations and purpose, I like getting audience participation. So if you ever want to talk, just open up the mic and ask some questions. Number 2 is to create an environment of leadership development. I already know you guys do that really, really well, but never lose touch of it. So I got to put my glasses on to see some of the names. So just as an example, Austin's on there. Melissa, you're on there. Casey, who I see on here. Thomas. Tommy's got an environment in the agency and the culture, right? That doesn't mean that you shouldn't also make sure that you have in your team, whether it's you and 1 other person or you and 5 other people, also make sure that culture is confirmed, where you have an environment of leadership development. And it starts with this. You've got to be the number 1 student. You hear what I said? You got to be the number 1 student. Why? Because what you probably already know is this. You can't teach what you're not. There's a reason I'm not a personal trainer. I can't be a personal trainer because personal trainers can't eat 6 donuts when they see something they like. Personal trainers can't eat a loaf of bread every time they sit down. I can't be what I'm not. Right? You've got to be before you can teach. You know, so many times, and this is something I read long ago. My parents were phenomenal. My dad was an engineer. I grew up very middle class. And he never made a lot of money. He worked for the state of New Jersey. But I knew I had different goals and dreams. So I had to find different mentors. He came to America with $5. His only goal was to survive. Mine was to hit it big. So I had to follow people who were already millionaires. Not that I had to disrespect him, but I knew the things he were talking about was not going to get me anywhere. You know, start off small, get a small little house, do this. No, I'm not interested in that. I had to find people who had the lifestyle, who had the career that I wanted. It was easy at AIL, obviously, right? And then I had to learn from them. How did I learn to be a great father? How did I learn to be a great husband? And by the way, thank you for that, because that's what I'm most proud of, is by following my parents. They had that. So with that, I followed them, right? Had a conversation with someone not too long ago who said, yeah, my parents tell me this. I'm like, your parents are broke. They never go on vacation. I know they're 60 and they're your parents, and you got to love them. You got to respect them. But you can't follow their advice, because where are you going to end up if you follow their advice? It doesn't make you a bad person. It means you have different dreams. Compartmentalize the two. Take the good and learn the new. There's no negative there. That's just where they are. That's not where you want to be. And if it is, great, follow it. But you've got to be before you can teach it. So, my struggle at AIL was I didn't come to American Income to be an agent. I always had a goal to become an executive with the company with the day I started. So eventually it became true, and I became the executive vice president. So that was the goal. But I had to be a good agent. Why? Why did I have to be a great agent, or a good agent anyway? Anybody know why? Because if I'm going to ask you to do something, I got to be willing to do it myself. How am I going to show you? How am I going to field train you if I'm not good at it? I've got to show you I'm willing to do what I don't like to do in order to get to where I want to get to. Simple, right? Very simple process. It's simple, but most people don't follow it. So be careful to make sure that you are before you teach, okay? Third thing, and this is another reason why it's important. And to your point, Tommy, in your intro, of why I treat you like I treat, and I hopefully try to treat most people well that I run into. You got to believe in people. That's number 3. You got to believe in people. It all starts with that. Remember what we talked about? The people. You got to surround yourself with a lot of people. So how do you do that? The first thing is this. The minute someone walks in for an interview, or the minute someone gets hired, and this is a big mistake people make. It's kind of the same thing when you're prejudging a potential customer on the phone, right? Don't prejudge the person. See people for what they can be, not what they are. It's huge. It's huge. You got to believe in people. And I got to tell you, it's not easy. Some people will screw up over and over and over again. And we'll get to that in a second. But don't overreact. And especially the higher you go. Don't overreact to negative behaviors or human weakness. Right? Don't overreact to negative behaviors or human weakness. If Eric Giglione, who was my SGA, as I told you, for the first 7 years, if he would have reacted and overreacted to my weaknesses as a 22 and 23 and 25 single guy with money in his pocket, I wouldn't be here. I never would have been executive vice president of American Income Life, ever. Matter of fact, I probably wouldn't even have been an MGA in his organization. He actually knew and was smart enough to have patience with me, because he knew my ambition, but he also knew my weaknesses and worked through it with me. Right? I didn't know how to lead or manage anyone. I was a laborer in college. I was a laborer 170. I didn't know how to really manage people or lead people. What I knew was what I was brought up in. My dad, the boss tells you what to do and you just do it. Right? There was no democracy or, family discussions. We just took the orders from above and marched. Right? So that's what I thought leadership was. Didn't work that way. I thank the Lord you find mentors who put up with your weaknesses. And here's why. Those leaders also realize that I have weaknesses too. So who am I to judge, right? Now, that being said, don't be naive. Don't be naive. You're business people. You're on this call. You're a business person now. You're a business owner. It's a serious business. Your agency's going to do $5 million next year. Enjoy some breath right now, but you got ready to kick some serious ass. And that's not going to happen by not being serious and by being naive, okay? But here's what you got to make sure you don't fall into this trap. Don't feel built up when you discover other people's weaknesses. I got something popping up on my screen. Bear with me. You hear me on that? Don't be built up. Don't feel built up when you discover other people's weaknesses. That's an easy trap to fall into going, but here's what you can say. You can say to yourself, well, this person's human just like me. I fall short sometimes. Although a lot of times I try to fall short in public so no one sees it, right? So, but don't feel built up when you discover other people's weaknesses. Remember, people are coming to American Income for an opportunity. If someone starts with you, gets through your recruiting process, it means they see something in themselves. It means they believe they're worth more than any company's willing to pay them, so they're coming to you. Their hands are in your life. Their family's hands, if they're married and have kids, it's on your life. It's on your hands. It's on your mind. So take that responsibility seriously, but don't feel built up when you watch other people's and point out other people's weaknesses. Again, like I said, don't be naive. Be aware of weaknesses. It's very important, right? You know, it is real important to know yourself when you want to be successful. You got to know your weaknesses better than anybody, because you can't have real success if you don't know your own weaknesses. I know and have always known that I like to excess. When I have an excessive compulsive personality in some ways. It's been tempered over the years, right? I'm too tired to do the crap I used to do. But that being said, what I mean by that is this. I was executive vice president of American Income Life. We, conventions, meetings, whatever. If you know me, you know I am a social person. I like to, for lack of a better term, I don't know what they call it these days, but I like to party. I like to have fun. I know I'm 55, but I like to drink. I like to drink beer. I like to dance. I like to sing. I like to crank tunes. And just who I am. But when I was at a function, I never drank until the functions were over. And it was getting to the end. Why? Because I know me. I like to talk. I have too many beers or too many glasses of wines and I start talking. It doesn't work out for anybody. Right? So you've got to know when, where, who you are, what your weaknesses are, and you got to protect yourself from them. You got to get people to help you protect yourself from them, and don't put yourself in situations where your weaknesses are exposed too often, and you got to work on them. And you got to obviously always improve your strengths. But also remember, other people have weaknesses too. So what's really important is this. Forget our weaknesses. Forget people's weaknesses when they walk in. They all have them. You have them. I have them. We got to believe in unseen potential. That's the key here, right? You guys want to do $5 million next year. You're going to do it, but here's what you got to find. Right now, with what's on this screen, you're not doing $5 million. But there's more on this screen than it's currently producing. There's more, and I'm calling it a screen. It's actually a team. My apologies. Okay. There's more on this team right here than you're actually producing right now. There's probably another easily 20 to 30% more production that can occur each week if every single person, maybe 50, if every single person really maximized their potential. That's called unseen potential. You know, we're believers. We got to believe before we see. That's faith. You got to have faith in people. So make sure that you believe in unseen potential in yourself, in Tommy, in the company. You got some great leaders. Steve Greer is a phenomenal leader. He's not only a phenomenal leader, he's a phenomenal person. Dominic Bertini, you can turn your back anytime and he will have your back. These are great people and great leaders, but you got to, even them, we've all got to look at each other for unseen potential. So When people walk in front of you, don't think, oh, well, he doesn't even own a suit, or he doesn't do this, or he can't even, button his shirt right. You know what? Maybe no one ever taught him how, but you can. I mean, in the day when I was interviewing, you had to wear a suit. Some people would walk in, and I'm like, did he even look in the mirror before he came in for an interview? Gave the guy a pitch book, went out, wrote $4,000 his first week. Well, if I'd have judged him by his tie, he never would have even gotten in my office. But because I looked at unseen potential and looked at him for what he could be, listen, those are easy things to fix, right? There's a lot of people out there that think they're classy because they buy classy clothes. You don't buy class. You just happen to look nice, right? If we create a climate of looking for unseen potential, we're going to create a climate for growth opportunity for people, for businesses, and everything associated with the both of those things. It's an important function. All right. So make sure you believe in the unseen potential. Here's the thing about that, and I'm going to just finish up with this on number 3, which is what I just went over, is this. You can't do that if you don't think big. If you're not thinking big, you're not going to see unseen potential. You know why? You don't need to. There's no need for you to see unseen potential if you don't think big. Tommy just had to give his goals to the company. He could have gone way lower and no one probably would have said a word. But if he did that, guess who that holds back? It holds back every single other person on this call and on this meeting. If you don't think big, remember, you're holding other people back. Remember the people that we talked about earlier on that said that are going to help you get to that 5 million? We don't even know them yet. But if you don't set the goal of 5 million rather than 3, you're never going to get to know them because you have no need to bring them into your life, to bring them into your world. So remember that. And here's another thing about thinking big. And this is used to get me then and it gets me now, which is there's no passion to be found in playing small. There's no passion to be found in playing small at all. You know, when I used to run the Leadership Academy at AIL, one of the things I used to go around the room to talk about thinking big, and I used to say, hey, I'm gonna paint a scenario for you. And I used to pick someone out in the crowd and say, listen, I like you a lot. I'm gonna pay for you to go on vacation anywhere you want, first class, 5-star hotels, you and your family. I'm going to give you $5,000 spending money for every day you're there. Tell me where you'd like to go. So do me a favor, click on the voice so I can hear some of you.
Where do you guys want to go?
Where would you go? If I gave you that scenario that I was going to pay for everything for a week, first class flights, you and 3 other people, 5-star hotels, $1,000, $1,200 a night, and spending money, you don't have to spend a dime. Where would you go?
Bali.
Bali, it's funny. Bali was always one of the number 1 or number 2 answers. Where would you go?
Greece.
Go ahead. What are you saying?
I said Greece.
Greece. Beautiful. Okay. Here's what no one said. Not one person ever said to me Disney World. Here's why. Because they were playing with my money, not theirs. The minute they got to book their own vacation, they're going to Disney World. And not only are they going to Disney World, this used to piss me off, they're going to go stay off the grounds because it saves them money. Think big. You can't have fun playing small. It doesn't get you excited. So remember that. Think big. There's no passion to be found in playing small. We got time? Tommy, am I good? Got a few more minutes. Okay. Number 4. Everybody got 3 so far, or did I catch you off guard? Everybody got 3? Okay, good. Here's the 4th one. And I know you all know this. Everything I'm telling you, I'm sure you already know. But here, let's reinforce it. And this fourth one, I can't tell you how much this not only affects AIL in business, but every business, and it affects the entire world in everything we do. It's number 4 is this. You've got to create a culture of trust. You've got to create a culture of trust. You will never get the most out of people on your team if they don't trust you. That doesn't mean they won't be productive. That doesn't mean they won't be productive. But it just means you could have been a lot more productive, but you don't even know it because they don't trust you. Or there's some sort of lack of trust somewhere. Here's the thing. It's got to be a team thing, everyone. Because if someone, again, I got to put my glasses on to see names. Austin, if someone trusts Austin but doesn't trust Tommy, it affects Austin. It's a team thing. You're all either in it or you're out. It can't be 13 people we trust and 1 we don't, because the 1 ruins it for everyone. And you got to smoke that out. That's cancer. You got to get rid of it. So, best example I've ever read about this is, you don't need to read the book if you haven't read it, but hopefully you've heard of a book called Dante's Inferno. It's one of the literature's greatest books. In it, he describes heaven, hell, purgatory. But in hell, the bottom circle of hell, the worst place in hell, there's only a few people in it. One is Brutus and friends of Caesar who killed Caesar, and Judas, who obviously we know what Judas and Jesus, right? Killed Jesus. And here's the beauty of this. They're not in that worst circle of hell because they killed their masters. They're not. They're there because they betrayed the trust of the people who extended the trust to them. That's how he writes it. They're in the worst place in hell. Imagine going to hell and then saying, oh, you're not good enough for hell. You're going to the bottom. Well, those are the people who betrayed trust. That was his message. That's how important he saw as trust. And here's trust in your world. Someone comes in. You talk to them about the great opportunity, AIL. You talk to them about how they're going to make money. You talk to them how you're going to field train them properly. You're not, by the way, I know you're not, I don't know if you guys are in the field or not in the field, but hopefully you'll get out in the field again and not just do everything through Zoom. There's something about seeing people. Of course, if you're kicking ass, keep doing Zoom. But that being said, really the beauty of it is this. Whatever you tell them in the recruiting process and in the training process has got to come true. It's got to come true. That's trust. And remember, thing about trust. It's not like we started on day 1 and forget about it from 2 through 9 or 2 through 10. You got to have trust every day. So every day you're building or killing trust. There is no status quo. You're either building, and it can be in small things. Hey, I'll meet you at the office at 10:15. You don't show up till 10:30. You may think that's no big deal. To me, it's a lack of character, and I don't trust you now because I can't trust your word. You said you were going to be here at 10:15, which means if you were any kind of leader, you would have been there at 10 just in case I got there early. That's trust. You think that's a small thing. You think that's a time management thing. That's a trust thing. I promise you, if you do what I ask you to do and follow our lead and have faith that in 6 months, you're going to be at X, X, and X. And then it doesn't happen, but you haven't given them any explanation or any reason or any training or any development or any help in getting there. That's lack of trust. That's not just bad management, that's lack of trust. It isn't about the management, it's about the trust. So remember, that's a really important thing, which is trust. It is really, really, really important. So with that, I think I've taken up more time than I should have. I really enjoyed this time with you all. I appreciate, Tommy, you allowing me to speak to your leaders. I wish you all a very blessed holiday season. If there's anything I could ever do for you, if you're a friend of Tommy's, you're a friend of mine. I love you guys. I love AIL. Kick ass. You're in a great place. You're in a place where your life can be turned around like that. And remember, American Income should not be your life. It should be the tool that helps you build your life. Go after it. Love you guys. Take care.
Thank you, Rob.
All right. Have a great day.
You too.
Right. Hey, guys, don't hang up. Don't hang up. Did anybody hang up yet? No. Okay. All right. So 3 things. Microphone. Can you? I'm gonna get the microphone real quick. I want to see, make sure you guys see what these things work.
Keyboard.
Anytime you,
This is really nice for a computer.
yeah, I know.
He thinks after he listens to the best computer out there. It's the best one.
Rob Falbo. This thing's always tough though, the writing pad, like, it really gets slow. I'm shocked.
It gets slow. Give up,
Just when I was trying to move around.
Oh shit! I don't know who it was.
Like, 'cause there's so much.
short Italian
It's
man
like the
with
process.
full black hair,
Mhm.
and that's what I was expecting when I.
When it gets all that ball.
It was just this ball figure.
White
I was like,
hair.
oh. That was 10 years ago.
That was 10 years ago.
Now you get along. He was a lot skinnier man.
Told you it's all
VP.
It's all that drink.
Told you the VP.
Told you, Josh. He's good at BPs, how he said.
You want to pull out the,
I told you. Why's Austin Penn?
yesterday to the president.
Whole face of Austin.
Former president. You had president.
All right. So go to the microphone thing over there. Hey, click the microphone.
Yeah.
Click the arrow.
This one?
Yes. All right, guys. Microphone test. Check. How's this sound? This is what we're going to use for the agency meeting now. Yeah, so I mean, I could go anywhere with this thing. How's it sound now? Still sound good?
Sounds good.
Yeah? Oh, far from the
Oh, is
mic.
it gonna be on YouTube?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You don't gotta worry about
Yeah,
it.
whoever's talking, we'll just have them mic'd up.
You gotta worry about this transceiver being this far away from this thing. That's what nothing.
Yeah. So now Blake, you've been watching these meetings, right? Blake's been watching the meetings. Do you think this will sound better for the meeting?
Yeah, the clarity is pretty good. And it's like a nice warm sound. The other mic was kind of like tinny.
Oh, which one? The Yeti.
Been using. This one's like a much more rich audio quality.
Go to the other mic real quick. Okay, so this is the microphone we were using.
Yeah, ton of echo on this one and ton of reverb. Whereas with the other one, it's just your voice coming straight through.
Yeah, okay.
These were
All right,
words
go back to this
These
one
were
now.
the words you were looking for me from yesterday, huh? I can't spit out the word.
Yeah, okay, good. So, all right, hey, this is good. So guys, for the agency meeting now, we're gonna have 3 cameras going. We'll have better microphone as well. And for you guys, this was $100. $100. So if you guys want to get one of these for yourself, like if you're doing a meeting, I'm telling you, if you are selling stuff virtually, we have to maximize every aspect of the virtual experience. You only have a little block of screen there. So you better maximize that screen with the most impactful stuff that you could possibly think of on that screen. And it got to be clear. So, I talked to my cousin, Lee, who's like one of the directors at Aflac, and he's doing all virtual. And I said, Lee, he's like, I got to make the virtual experience the best. I said, you want to know what I got? I got this Logitech Brio. He goes, he FaceTimed me. He goes, look what I got. He had the Logitech Brio, same exact camera, right? So he knows what he's talking about. I talked to Jordan Beckham, the video guy from Pittsburgh. Okay. One of the biggest video guys in Pittsburgh. He had to shoot a video for Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin was speaking to UPMC. And he went to Mike Tomlin's house, and he said, he told me, he's like, hey, Tommy, you should think about getting this camera that we used for Mike Tomlin's video. He's like, it was so clear and it had a wide view and it was awesome. He sent me a picture of it, and it was the Logitech Brio, the same one, right? This is what they were using for the Steelers and Mike Tomlin. Like, I'm already 10 steps ahead of the game, right? So for a small amount of money that you're not spending on gasoline to get anywhere, if you're not going to be putting money into your gas, okay, take that money and invest it and put it into your business and get yourself a nice camera and a nice microphone, whatever you do. Because what my vision would be is, if I was presenting to somebody, I'd probably have a camera set up on one of these things on, what is this thing? A tripod. And then I probably would be getting up and walking around, because motion creates what? Motion creates emotion. Motion creates emotion. So at some point in my presentation, I'm probably going to get up and show them I'm not wearing my my pajama pants. You know what I'm saying? Like, the top matches the bottom over here. So you're going to see I got dress pants on, or something respectable. I'm going to probably walk back to a board, and I'm going to be writing on the board some stuff for the people, because I'm going to be educating my clients. We have to educate the clients. It's a big thing. So I use a board to educate people a lot, right? So if I had to get up and walk around, I'd be mic'd up, because you want to know what? Your voice is the only thing that's selling. That's what's selling, is your voice. So you need your voice to carry itself, And when I want to raise my voice and sound a little bit stronger, I can sound a little bit stronger, and it makes a difference. And when I want to go low, they can still hear me, and it sounds important, because I'm slowing down. I'm looking them in their eye. I might even get a little bit closer to the screen now, look them right in their eye, and tell them that everybody that goes to bed tonight isn't guaranteed to wake up tomorrow. And everybody that goes to work today isn't guaranteed to come home. So what we're going to do today is we'll make sure for you that there's a problem here today. I'll make sure this problem goes away for you. Whatever you want to say to the people, you can say to them. And it got mic'd up, right? $100. I'm going to make more sales than the other person, even if it gives me a 2% better chance of making these sales. So anyways, I just wanted to see how this thing works pretty good, right? All right, next thing. For January, they have, well, we met with Zoffin the other day, right? He wants us to make sure everybody's training one person. So Casey, if you could write on the board for us, who is training who in the month of January, okay? Now, when you think about who you're gonna train, he wants us to make sure that out of everybody that we train, that 1 out of 4 of those people get promoted. We need to be promoting at least 25% of the people that start in training class need to get promoted. So let's look at this list of people that we're training in January, and let's see who has the potential to be promoted. And we could start identifying the leaders now and telling them, it's like walking up to them and saying, hey, listen, you, my friend, are now going to be a leader. You are going to be a leader. You are now going to be a leader. You are now appointed. You are anointed. We have to go and figure out who we're going to be blessing with this leadership opportunity, right? And once we identify them, then we start treating them as such until they give us reason not to, right? You saw people that came in leadership, we gave them a chance. They gave me reason not to. They're not in these meetings anymore, right? They'll just work themselves all the way out. So, but let's think about this. Who are we training in January? Who's going to be these trainees in January? Oh, let me hold this up here. I dropped the mic. We'll go around. Who do we got lined up? Do we have these people lined up, right? And now when you think about it, if you could only train one, who would it be? You might have 3, like, well, I'm training 3 in January. That's great. But who would be your one that has the best potential to get into management and leadership, right? Who would be your one person? Who do you got, Josh?
I mean, I could say Caesar.
You like Caesar?
Caesar could be good, yeah.
Josh likes Caesar.
Matt Hansberger's personal Pat. He's a little bit older and he's been a soccer coach in sports for a while now. A lot of discipline, so he'd probably be the.
Well, Hunsberger would train him.
I'm actually calling.
No.
Well, I mean, he would train him, I would train him too.
No. Each person needs
for
to
the
train.
whole duration.
What about like the rest of people in our pipeline?
You're gonna train one person. You're gonna train separate people.
For the whole training.
That's you still need a code, you know.
Mhm.
Not for the whole training, but
Yeah, I mean,
we need every manager to, you know, at least be responsible for one
yeah.
training.
After Pat, we got.
John who?
John Curtis.
John Curtis.
Put Caesar for Tommy Whalen.
Caesar will be Tommy Whalens.
I was gonna say Dolphins too, but.
Caesar, Tommy Whalen, you ready to train this person? All right. Who's gonna be your person, your superstar you're gonna train in January, Austin?
Ryan and then Jeremy coming in if we can get all that stuff situated.
Yeah. So we're gonna try and train Ryan this month.
Yeah, Ryan's coming in. Ryan's starting Monday.
All right, we got Ryan and Jeremy. Put Ryan and Jeremy.
Ryan,
Ryan and Jeremy. Yep.
had Danny on there.
Melissa, who do you got in your pipeline?
I got a couple. Are we only, would you recommend only doing 2 max, or would you even push it to like even 3?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, that's the idea. We have 2 training classes in January. So if I was training 2 people that month, I would try to spread it out to where I train 1 each training class, you know, if I could, or the other idea, guys, follow me on this, is if I knew I'm training 2 people for the month, do I want to just put 2 of them in the first training class and just not have anybody in the second training class? So it gives me that buffer to maybe get a 3rd weekend without having somebody coming in. That would be the idea as well, right? Just depends on licensing and all that, you know, but if we can't have any control over the situation, you know, that might even be a better play, right?
I'd rather have 2 than 1 because they can work.
I'd rather have 2 at the same time versus saying it for 2 weeks and then repeating myself again for 2 more weeks. You know, I'd rather get 2 in 1. And then Casey likes the fact that they can work together too, you know? So if you're going to say something, you might as well say it to 6 people instead of 1 person.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, would you even recommend like 2 for the first train and 2 for the next one? Or is that too much?
see, that's the ideal situation right there. That's where you want, that's when you're rocking. That's when you're really rocking. Would I recommend that? Yeah, that's how I roll. That's how we roll. That's it right there, man. But not everybody can handle that, you know? So, but if you can line that up, first of all, not everybody can even line that self up for them. Barely, most trainers are trying to like get 1 person a month, you know? So for us to be able to have the ability to line up and organize and orchestrate something like that, where you have 2 people in training class and then another 2 people in the next training class, that's big. The second thing though, is to be able to handle all that too, is a lot. That's why we got to make sure, guys, that we're doing the whole training process where everybody is helping, where the SA trains for the first week, the GA trains for the second week, the MGA trains and goes out with them and makes sure they're good to go. And maybe the end of the second week, if we can get them wrapped up in 2 weeks, it'd be ideal, you know? Getting the activity that's necessary is nice because you don't have to really get like twice as much activity. You can still get the same amount of activity because they're all going to be in the same presentations. But what's nice is if it's you and 2 trainees, you should have more activity as well. You definitely can't be running off of, you know, below average activity and try and train 2 people at once. So you got to remember, you're going to have a high level of activity to get the training done because it's all about the repetitions at this point, you know? So anyways, yeah, that's the idea, right? Think about that. And think about if you can create a culture like that on your team. So for instance, guys, you know, Melissa does this as an essay, right? And then she develops, because she's doing this, she's going to develop a lot more leaders because she just has more people coming through. Well, she promotes 2 people in the leadership. Now they're all doing this. So she can train 4 people a month. Her SA trains 4 people a month. Her other SA can train 4 people a month. Essentially, they can train 12 people in a month if they can orchestrate and organize that. And some people are like, well, if I train one person a month, how many am I going to train in a year? 12. If Melissa does that, how many is she going to train in 1 month? Like 12, you know? If she trains 4 and then she gets 2 essays and they both train 4, that's 12, you know? So yeah, hey, that's the ideal situation. What the president was saying, he's like, guys, most people aren't even getting 1 person a month. Training them and getting them released properly, and that person coming out and writing business. You know, most people aren't even growing at 1 person per month. They might train 2 people a month, but they grow at 0 people for the month because they train 2 people and those people go out and write no business. What he's talking about is we want to get the quality people to make sure they're getting quality training and they're getting released like properly, like no doubt about it. He's going to get his leads on Monday. I guarantee you he writes a deal on Tuesday. I guarantee he writes a deal on Tuesday. And then what he's saying though, another way to guarantee that is we're releasing them with referrals. It's like, I have no doubt my dude is going to kick ass his first week. And then after that, he's going to go recruit everybody that he knows, you know? That's what the ideal situation is right there. So, you know, I don't know. If we train 4 people in a month, but none of them stick, and the other person trains 1 person a month and that person sticks. So we got to make sure that we, you know, have both going on is the key. We're not dropping the ball on any end. And the thing is, when one essay got to do all the work, like you got to deal with all the agents baloney all day long. You got to role play with them. You got to take them in the field. You got to do all day long for 2-3 weeks. And then they get released and they never talked to the GA, never went out with the MGA, none of that stuff. That is a lot of work. And I guarantee you that you're overextended. So you're not doing the best training and they're not getting the best training from that situation. Right. And that's how we end up with these people that get released and they have no success, low success, I feel like, you know. So one way to ensure that is to just stick to that process, you know, and I guarantee it's hard. It's not easy. That's why not everybody wins. It's not everybody wins. The people that can do the hard, that like actually stick to the process, stick to the system, not skip things, not make excuses. Like when you can do that, it's hard to do it. It is, but that's why the not everybody's making millions of dollars, you know? So I think it's a basic, simple process. It's like, how about yesterday in the meeting, or 2 days ago when David Zoffin met with us, you know, did anybody pick up on one of the key training tips he told us? It's just like I said, I think it was a meeting on Monday. I said, guys, it's not a coincidence that every time I have one of the best people in the company speak, I'll have like Bulldog or anybody. Justin, he came and spoke. He said the same thing. When we talk about training, Brett Griska got on here and talked to us about training. One of the first things they tell us, and like, you got to think how silly this is and basic this is. He's like, you have to know the script before you get into training. David Zoffin, the president of our company, could tell us any advice in the world. And that's what he chose to tell us with his time that he spent with us. Make sure, it was the day before. I said it on Monday, then he spoke on Tuesday. And then I was like, guys, isn't it a coincidence how every time we have a speaker come in, they always say, you got to make sure you know the script before they start training class. Like all the best of the best. And you should think we should be offended for them telling us that. Like, bro, like we know, like We want you to give us the juice. We want you to give us the fire. Why are you telling us to make sure we know the script before training class? It's like the most basic day one stuff. But that's how important it is. And that's how, and and the reason it needs to be repeated is because for some reason, it still don't happen. Right? And we all got our own little reasons why. We'll just convince ourselves that, if I don't get them into training now, then we're going to never have them. I'd rather have them in training not knowing the script than never have them at all, or whatever we want to tell ourselves. It's all it is. It's a bunch of baloney. It's a bunch of baloney. So anyways, that's the systems. A lot of the stuff is simple. Just stick to the simple systems, guys. Okay. And then the last thing, I guess, oh wait, we didn't finish it up, man. We can't finish, not finish this up here.
Yeah.
Josh ain't going to trade Caesar anymore.
Yeah, I got it. So,
Yeah. Who you got? Who's going to be your superstar that you train and may become an essay?
So, cause we got,
Hey, Gabe, Ian.
Who's going to be your superstar, Reich? Who? Jawani.
Yeah.
With a J?
Yeah, Juani.
Jawani.
Jawani man.
Vince. Hans, you got your personal, right?
You put Rhea.
Pat, Hans.
That's what I was talking
Or
about.
you
You
got,
got,
people
Justin
that should
Smith
start in January. So like,
Okay.
you got those 3 kids.
We got Pat, Dalton's girlfriend, and then 3 young kids all in the same training class.
Okay.
So I have 5. I didn't know if he was training Pat, and then I was training Aubrey, because those are definitely the first 2 to start.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Well,
What about-
we'll
what-
go back and forth, you know, we'll-
yeah,
What about what Nolan? What do you think? Does Nolan have anybody in his pipeline?
Eric Lopez. is
Okay.
Definitely able to be a stud.
Nolan, Eric Lopez. And Melissa, did you have a one person that you think would be the best out of your potentials? I know you might have 3 or 4 or 5, but who would be like the best that you're like, this is the one who should be in leadership? So we got Blake's person?
Are you just referring to the pipeline, like potential ones coming up, or the ones currently?
Yeah, so when you're looking at January, right? So right now, everybody should be looking at what's going on for obviously December too. So in December, you have people you're training, right? Do you have people that are not released that you're training in December? Who are you training in December that's not released? That's first of all, we got to make sure we identify who we're training in December that's not released, and when are we going to get them released? What's the game plan, right? All that, right? Also, while we're talking about this, okay, is your codes. Talk about a first round knockout. If you want to knock stuff out in the first round, knock out your codes, right? So if you need to get stuff coded, get it coded in the first week. All right. Now, after you guys look who you training now, Drew, JC, Hans, who are you guys training now? Make sure we have a good game plan to get these people super trained up and get them released. Prepare them for the holidays. Let them know the week of Christmas and New Year's typically are a little bit slower, as you could imagine, but it's usually because people just don't work. Usually if you work over the holidays and you put the same numbers in you put in this week and did it over the holidays, it usually is pretty similar, guys. Like you're probably going to be like, if you're making right now, if it's taking you about 30 phone calls to get a set, it's getting you about 10 sets to get about 5 seen. It's taking about, you're selling, for every 4 out of 10, you're selling 40% right now. If you do the same stuff you did over the holidays, I'm willing to bet you're going to get the same results. The only reason our numbers go down is not because the clients aren't buying or answering their phones or sitting with us. It's because we're just not working. That's usually the reason why. And I don't have a problem with that. We should take a whole week off over Christmas. From Christmas to New Year's, we should take a whole week off. But from up until then, though, we have to go super hard so that we can take that week off. Some of us in leadership might have to do some very unselfish stuff. you might have a person on your squad that's inches away from getting to convention, right? And you might want to take off over the holidays. They might want to take off over the holidays, but they don't. And then you decide, well, heck, I'm not going to do it. And you might have to roll with them. But that's a pretty good spot to be in, rather than being like the Browns and the playoffs come and you're home. In the playoffs, you want to be in the play. Like some people are like, oh, I get to chill out. It's January, February. No, you don't want to be chilling in January. You want to be grinding. You want to be in the playoffs. You want to be in a Super Bowl. So this is a chance, if you want to think about it mentally, to get yourself pumped up, because you could be like, this sucks. I got to work over the holidays. But you could say, hey, we actually have a chance to do this. This is a good position to be in, you know? And it's rather than, hey, I'm 50,000 away from convention, I might as well just pack it until next year. You know, you're only 15,000 away. If it's 15,000 and we got 7 days, we can get that done. There's 3 of us here. There's me, there's Reich, there's Vince. You know, we could all get it done. And we could figure it out. And boy, oh boy, the loyalty that'll be built from that, and the culture that you're going to have on a team like that, where everybody just works out for everybody. Like, think about the core of that team when it grows. Guess what's going to spread? The same type of stuff next year, at the end of the year, all year long, that type of stuff. So anyways, but we should take off. So we got to go super hard the rest of it. We got 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks. We got a half a week, and then we have 2 more weeks. And the month is, you know, for us, I mean, we got Christmas. So I want to get behind the people that want to go to work. The people that want to go to work, let me know. I'm going to give them tons of leads. Like, if you guys need the business, I'm going to give you tons of leads so you could go get it. You know what I'm saying? And we, you know, I'll be behind you guys, whatever you guys need to get there. Right? What the heck? But at the same token, you know, for everybody else that doesn't need or isn't in those positions or whatever, if you can organize it with your people individually, like individually, right? Doesn't want to, Faith doesn't want to, Marvin doesn't want to, their trainees don't want to, they want to, hey, I'm not going to tell them you have to take off. They can go ahead. But if some people on your team, you're like, you want to know what? I think it would be good for, you know, maybe if it was like, I don't know, whatever it was like let's say Austin or Jackie Albertson or a trainee, maybe a brand new trainee, right? This brand new trainee's been busting their butt, and it'd be good for them to take the week. And I'm going to tell them, like, I want you to take the week, go spend it with your kids, go spend it with the family. I want you to come back on Monday, ready to take the new year over, you know, blah, 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 blah. But from now until then, we're going to go hard, right? Let's get your goals, let's get your commits, and get them going all the way up until the 23rd. The 23rd is our last day before Christmas. We can send business for that week. You know what I mean? And we'll get paid right after Christmas off of that business. So another thing to push people for is Christmas money. Convention, obviously, we talked about convention. Identify your convention people. Tommy Whalen should be somewhere trying to get the convention. Christmas money is another thing. So if you sit down with your person and show them, hey, man, blah, 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 it'll help them to identify what they need to do to get the money they want to make for a convention. Even looking at Christmas, looking at the pays. Like, when's the last time they're going to get paid before Christmas that they can actually go run out and buy some last minute gifts, right? What can we do from now until then to drum it up? You know, so that would be a good thing to coach people towards, right? Anyways, so where were we at? Where were we at with this? With was I going over? We got a few more people for training. So we got to make sure everybody who is good to go for December. But these are the people that you know that I couldn't get them in December's training class. These are the people like I couldn't get them in December. I got them lined up for the new year. Okay. So who do you got lined up for the new year? So Gio, Who do you, Melissa?
Yeah. I got, I have two people that I hired, job farms, two superstar studs.
Yes.
Fabian Morales, speaks Spanish, Fabian.
Fabian, love it,
Fabian
love it.
Morales. And then I got Christopher Dobbs as well.
Christopher Dodd. Yeah, you guys got some hires off of Jot Forms you might be hot for,
Yeah.
right?
I honestly have like a potential 3. I have Andy, Nicholas, and Michelle.
Andy, Nicholas, and Michelle. Who's the best out of those? You like all 3?
It's tough. I mean, one of them moved all the way to Chicago. Moved all the way from Ohio to Chicago for this, if anything. So.
Nice.
So,
Okay.
I mean, the people that my essays have, they don't count. I gotta pick my own protege too. I don't know if there's one. Are these essay material for New Year or just any agent?
Essay material.
Put Alex down for me.
Okay. All right, we got the list. We got the list. Good, good. That's what I wanted to do because we went over that with him the other day.
There's no you. Hey, you want to make an announcement? I think I got everyone's list leads. I forgot to.
Oh yeah, list leads, guys. So today we put leads in for we put a bunch of discount cards in. I know Faith crushed it with those. They're basically POS. So if you know much about the discount card leads, we put a bunch of those in there. What do we need? Anybody need leads? What's going on with leads? We good? I gave Ashley Miza a bunch of POS in her area, so she said she's going to work those this weekend. What else we need? Kalina needs leads? Okay, Kalina needs leads. Did we give Megan Harris her leads? Yep, gave Megan Harris. All right, so Kalina needs leads. Anybody else? We got Mara got her leads, correct?
Yeah. She's
All
got
right.
hers.
I'll be giving a bunch of discount card leads out as well. Call the shit out of these leads, guys. Just call the shit out of them. All right.
Tommy.
Drew's going to start training at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock today. Yes. Question.
Jackie's going ham this week, so if there's any extra discount cards, she's
Oh yeah.
going.
Listen,
to
I'll
Boston.
give everybody 500 discount cards right now. Do you think it would help or hurt?
Help.
Help.
You think it would help or hurt? We'll literally give everybody like 500 discount cards.
Please
Merry
do.
Christmas.
You
Yeah.
can't be saying crazy shit.
Make sure they're trained on how to handle POS, you know?
There's a discount for script. You can't be saying, you gotta use that script to be canceled.
Yeah.
You gotta use a new script we got.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, then we're going to do that. Anything else? Anything else we need to do here as a team? If you guys can for the Christmas party, just try and like, I don't even know, man. I was thinking like you guys know during the prohibition, you guys know what the prohibition is?
Yeah.
Yes, Drew knows where I'm going with this. Drew said speakeasies, right? I was like thinking like maybe we should have a doorman standing out there, you know, and people got to walk up and everybody got to park like, you know, over here or something. You ever got to park like, and you got to, you know, and like sneak in, slide in, everybody. But we should have some sort of process. I'm thinking we should probably walk in this side door here and then walk up the steps or something. That's a quick one. So we don't have a bunch of traffic at the elevators. So can we do that?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Yeah. So we can do that for the party. If the MGAs can come early and just help us make sure we're completely all set up. So like if you guys can come here at 5 on that day, ready to go, ready to rock. Other than that, so here's just the last message that I got is I was driving on, what's this road here? Tui. So I was driving on East Tui. You know, our address here at the agency is 999 East Tui Avenue. And this car in front of me was smoking a cigarette, and I saw like smoke go out the window. And then I saw him throw the cigarette out the window. And I thought to myself, I was like, that's just one little cigarette, but probably not that big of a difference. No one's really going to notice it, might get swept up here. But then I thought, what if every single car that drove by at that exact spot on the road threw a cigarette butt out? I was like, there's a lot of cars that are driving down this road, you know? And I'm like, these things that we do, we don't think make a difference. But we have to think, if everybody did what I did, what type of world would this be? It'd be a world full of cigarette butts in the middle of the road. And I'm thinking, well, you know, and when I was younger and I saw people do this, I would always think like, not only are you polluting the air, you know, now you're polluting the ground too. So it just made me think of that. And you know, hopefully we take, I would just say, you know, take what we do seriously, even in the small things, in the way that we think. Because if everybody thought the way that you thought, what type of agency would this be? If everybody did what you did, if everybody said what you said, if everybody got the results that you got, what type of agency would this be? If everybody made 34 phone calls on Monday, like one of our people that are trusted and lucky to be on this call, because remember, I want 20 leaders, but if I got to have 10, I'll have 10. I want 70, but if we got to have 10 and it's just these 10 people, we'll have 10. I don't need leaders on the call that are going to make 34 phone calls on a call night. The last person that did that, he's not in leadership anymore. His name's Todd Kisty. He wants to come up here and he don't want to do the deal. He's out. My best friend, he's out. So if I kick my best friend out, what do you think I'm going to do? This thing I'm going to do with your baloney? Next man up. There's plenty of people that would love to have that opportunity that you have, and you're trusted to be on this call. It's sad. Todd was on this call. You know what's sad? Is Todd was on all the calls with us. The president would come on, I'd invite him on. He was privileged, lucky to be on this call. I'd have Brett Griska, he'd hop on. I'd have Mike Laramie. Todd was on the call. He didn't appreciate it. And in fact, it was almost disrespectful to all the people that have done everything that they have done before us. You know how many people have done a lot of work and sacrificed and busted their ass, and you think you can just show up and make 34 phone calls on a call night and think that's cool? That ain't cool, bro. I never would do that. That's fucking disrespectful. That's how I'm rolling with that stuff. Just so you guys know, I'm a nice guy. I want everybody to win. All right. But where we're going, not everybody is going to be able to roll with us if they're going to be rolling like that. We know what it takes. And it's disrespectful to freaking Reich when he's making 190 phone calls. Disrespectful. I'm not going to put up with it. Matt Hunsberger and his crew put up 800 phone calls and you make 30. I'm not dealing with it. You can't be on this team. You're not going to sit at this table and eat with us. Okay. If you didn't put in what we put in. You guys feel me on that? So there's two sides to the coin, right? There's the bag of money over here, but there's the hatchet over here. Just know I do it all with my heart in the middle. Love and care for all the agency. Like I can't put one person above the team. When I start permitting that kind of stuff, I'm promoting it and I'm hurting all the people that's here till fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. All right, Blake? Start working till 3 o'clock in the morning. Be respectful to the opportunity. That's what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm saying? And I know you guys appreciate that. That's why we're gonna crush it next year. So This is a great lineup. We have our lineup for December that we got to make sure we get them people released. This is a great lineup for January. Look at this training class right here. Okay. Throughout the rest of this month, we're going to focus on getting training class on video, nice video tape recording. It's going to be great. So that's going to benefit everybody here. You know, you're going to have your people in the best training class. But one thing we didn't do is we got to identify the people that are going to get promoted in the first quarter, right? So who are we going to promote in the first quarter that is not in management or leadership yet? Javon. Okay, write them down. Javon and Andres. Yeah. Potentially Omar. Okay. Faith and Marvin, no doubt. Faith and Marvin. Matt Jans. All right, let's talk to him when he comes here. He's coming to the Christmas party, right? We'll pull him aside. You know what I used to do sometimes? Me and Matty D, we would find some people that we need to get some stuff done. We pull like an agent, right? Me and Matty D, we grab an agent and we'd be like, oh, let's go get Sokol. And we go get Sokol, right? And we'd bring Sokol back into the office and we'd shut all the lights off. And it was during call night, right? So it'd be real dark. And we'd be like, Sokol, we called you in here because we got something very important we need to talk to you about. You know what I mean? So and then we would tell them like, listen, this week is pivotal and we need you to bring your, and we'd be like, here's what we need from you, bro. So right. So we might need to do that with Matt Jans at the Christmas party, right? Pull him in the back, shut the lights off, and like, hey, listen, man, right? I called you here for a reason. Okay, I called this meeting for a reason. Okay, who else do we got? We got them two. We got Steve Ellis or what? Is Ellis on the docket? He's on. He's ready to go, right? Yeah. Good.
We got Steven, pretty much everybody. Steven, Matt, Ortiz, Javier, Faith, Dalton, Christina. Talked to Ashley last night. She wants to get into leadership as well.
Okay.
March.
I was thinking about that. That's weird. It came across my mind the other day, you know, because you don't want to. Ashley Russ did it for a while though. She stayed producing and now she decides to get into leadership. You know, you don't want to push somebody who doesn't want, but I thought like, you know, that might be that's good. She's thinking like that. Okay. So by the end, she could get promoted. I mean, guys, what he went over with us is us going into March with just the same people on this call here. He didn't talk about us going into March with, you know, let's say we had, who's that? Mason and Edgar? Oh, those are your people. Mason and Edgar for sure. Yeah. That's perfect. You guys know Edgar, right? Yeah. Edgar is freaking Casey's brother-in-law, basically. So he got to do it, you know? Yeah, Mason's a stud. Yeah. So look at these guys. Austin has Ryan and Jeremy, right? We got a bunch of people.
Yeah, there's 7 more that are enrolled that are, I don't know when they're gonna, I mean, it could be this month or next month.
Yeah, when they're gonna start. I'm just thinking like, you know, for you, I don't even know who we can really put down. She got so many people that can be promoted within the first quarter. I feel like you're gonna have at least two promotions. You know, you're gonna promote 2 people in the first quarter next year as well. So how do we do this? We focus on this, okay? And this is something we don't do enough of, okay? And this, I promise you we'll wrap up, but this is VIP stuff, guys. This is our future. The future is in our ability to develop leaders, right? Well, I talked to Reich about this yesterday, I think. And it's like what you need to do as an SA is you need to be a master of teaching people and getting people to the SA position and coaching people to that. And the way you coach people to an SA position is so easy. It's so easy. You know, you sit down and you map out with them that they get released on January 1st. So, you know, let's say you train Brian. Brian gets released on January 1st. So his coaching is going to be, all right, Brian, we need you to get 24,000 over these first 90 days, right? That is going to only be 8,000 a month. That's only 2,000 a week. So if we can get you to 2,000 a week consistently, you do this over 90 days, you're going to get promoted to a supervisor, right? And he's number one, mapping it out for him.
Only 9 sits.
9 sits, less than 3. It's 2.5 sales a week. It's 2.5 sales a week, you know? So 10 set a week, 10 scene a week will get them there. All the numbers behind what it takes. So you map all that out for them. So like Josh said, map out 20 set, 10 scene, 3 sales per week, map all that out. But then you show them, don't even worry about none of that, okay? Because look, if you give 100 presentations, you're going to make 30 sales. And if you make 30 sales at 800 a piece, you're going to write 24 grand. So don't worry about none of that. All you need to do is get on your horse and run and ride and run and hit 10 presentations a week or 100 presentations over these next 3 months. As long as they hit 100 presentations over those 3 months, your person will be fine. So if you literally just focus on the activity that they need to get there, which is just 10 sit downs a week. 10 sits is actually 8 sits a week because you have 13 weeks. You have a whole 3 months. So it's 8 sits a week. We'll get them there. But you focus on 10. They get 10 sits a week. They'll have 100 presentations done in 10 weeks, which will be everything that they need to get done. Now, the second thing you got to do is follow up with the coaching and make it a continuous conversation. Okay, hey, how'd phone session go tonight? Remember, we need 2,000 ALP this week. In order to guarantee 2,000 ALP, we're going to need to put up at least 600 calls based upon these statistics that we're looking at right now. And if you guys want me to go through the statistics, we could go through them, right? 600 phone calls is going to give you 20 set at 30 calls per set, right? So if it takes you 30 calls to get 1 set, you're going to have to make 600 phone calls in order to get 20 set. So now phone session just ended, you made 100 phone calls. So now you need to make 500 more the rest of the week. How are we going to get you there? Why do we need to make 600 phone calls? Why do I need to make 500 more phone calls this week? Why? Because he needs to write 2,000 this week. Why does he need to write 2,000 this week? Because he needs to write 8,000 for the month. Why does he need to write 8,000 for the month? Well, because he needs to be on pace to get promoted to a supervisor, right? And you told me you wanted to do it in 2 months. You said we're going to do 3,000 a week. So you really need to make 900 phone calls this week. And you're at 100. So how are we going to make 800 more? That's where the conversation is not about me. It's about you getting to your SA goals that we want to get to. And you're coaching them up every single day. I'm on Monday. This is Monday, day 1, week 1. This is Monday, day 1, week 1 of the month. We're on December 1st. The first call night of the night, I'm all like, this is based upon this. If we continue this, we're going to be way off. Way off. You're like going to be half of what you need to hit, right? And which means we're never going to get there. So you look at that. Now, the whole month goes by and your dude only does 4,000 month 1. Does 4,000 month 1. No big deal. You sit down with them and you just game plan with them. Hey, here's what we need over the next 2 months. You did 4,000 this month. So next month, we need 10,000 and 10,000. We need 20,000 more. So you show them you need 20,000 more. And then so we need to do 10,000 this month. So then you coach them up to do 10,000, which means they're probably going to have to write 2,500 a week, which means they're, I don't know, maybe they're going to need to write, maybe make 750 calls or whatever. So now they need to make 750 calls a week. So we're coaching them up throughout the month. They end up writing 8,000. We need to know what? 10, right? So now I'm like, all right, well, you did 4 and you did 8. So you're at 12. If we want to get promoted this month, what do we need? 12. So how are we going to get 12? That's only 3,000 a week. That's only 900 phone calls. Boom. And I'm coaching them up on that. And if they miss, let's say they did a bad month, they only did 6. I say, okay, well, look, you did 8, you did 6, right? That's 14. Guess what you need this month? 10. They might not hit it in their first 3 months. But you want to know what? At least you're trying. It's like shooting foul shots. The more they do it, the better they're going to get at it. So the more they keep trying to hit this, the better they're going to get at hitting it. But we're not coaching them up from day one. Give it month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4. Every month they're getting cracks at it, trying to get it. It gives them something to push for too. And we're coaching them towards it. And it's all on a system. It's all a basic, simple system of just adding up numbers and figuring out like what they need per month and just helping them, you know, which a lot of us know the numbers. They don't know the numbers, and they rely on us to help them, you know, and guide them with that kind of stuff. How cool is that? How cool is that? So I figure out, what did Andreas do last month? What does Andreas need to do this month to get promoted? If he did 4 the month before that and he did 4 last month, he did 8. So what's he need? He needs 16,000 this month. And I'd be pushing him towards the 16,000 this month so he can get promoted on January 1st. That's your job as an SA, is to develop other people to essays. And when you're a GA, you should just be a master of it by this point, because you've done it multiple times. And when you're an MGA, now you're just making sure all your people, you're even a master of teaching people how to master it. And that's a great, you know, we just have that system flowing. We're good, you know? So that's it, guys. Let's rock it today. Thanks for your time. If you need anything, let me know. We'll get them leads in and lead packs.
Thanks, Tommy.
Yes. You got a question? Oh, thanks. Okay.
Thanks. See you guys soon.